Number one thing is for me to continue doing something like PlanetSide for 8 years and to not get the content that I necessarily want or like or enjoy, and to get
Mhm.
content that I think is devastating or hindering or less fun to what I enjoy until I get used to it. I need like other things, right, to keep me like occupied. I'm not a
Mhm.
directives guy. I find something that I like that's good, I'm going to use it. So um, that's part of the reason I set like a long term goal, right, that I can't achieve in a month. So I'm slowly grinding towards something. That being said, I don't even know how long ago it was, but Gilly, I think it was BMF, Gilly BMF.
Mhm.
I don't even know what server he was on. He played Vanu. Um, at the time, he was like one of the top farmers, one of the best players in the game. And he did like everything. He would be in the max, a tank, PPA, but he was also like really good at infantry.
Mhm.
And I think he got the first 100,000 kills maybe in the game on a
Mhm.
weapon. And they gave him a gold, I think it was SVA
Right, I
88, I
remember
think it was
that.
the weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so once I started like looking around, I was like, nobody else really has gotten 200,000 kills. And I might like somebody maybe has it was like a rocket pods or something like that, but like infantry sanctioned.
Mhm.
Nobody else had
Mhm.
really gotten there. People were close. Maybe somebody had it with a Sasser or the stats were broken on it. I couldn't remember. And I was like, Sasser's a bolt. I was like, that doesn't really count either. I was like, let me try just to go for it.
Mhm.
And so another friend of mine that was actually in the game, Helix 320, we were both kind of competing for 100,000 anchor kills.
Okay.
And I think Kabai was also up there from TIW.
Okay.
And so the three of us were kind of like just slowly grinding for it. And then they kind of dropped off or stopped playing. Go ahead.
I say it's cool to have someone to compete against. It's sad they
Well,
dropped
again,
out.
it just it keeps you engaged,
Yeah.
right? It keeps you distracted from like grind, like doing something over. It's like an MMO. Like, do you want how many?
Oh,
I
yeah.
hate kiting mobs around and around and around. That's why I don't do a lot of MMOs. Even though PlanetSide does feel like that sometimes. It's just different.
Yeah.
So anyway, long story short, got to 100,000, and then everyone was kind of like, "Oh, you should ask Rel for a gold anchor."
Mhm.
And so like we kind of like were memeing about it, and then I think Rel was kind of like, not gonna happen type of thing. And then I was kind of thinking about, I was like, I think Gilly got it like 2, 3, 4 years before me. I was like, so that was special back then. I was like, what's so special about 100,000 now?
Mhm.
Like even like the worst players eventually gonna like maybe get up to like something like that, right? Not the worst, but you know what I'm saying? Like people are just gonna slowly get up there. And so I was like, okay, I need to go for like 200,000. I need to do something that no one else has done before.
Mhm.
And I was like, okay, this is crazy 'cause I'm gonna double what I have right now. And it took me forever to get that because I wasn't at like a good tier of play at the time, which I think led me to getting better at infantry in the game. Long story short, though, again, we grinded it out for a long time, took breaks in between, but finally we hit 200,000. Huge achievement. I think I was actually streaming at that time. I was. We got it.
Nice.
And I was like, okay, like let's hit up Rel. And it was like I think it was like a radio silence, man. He's a tough guy to get in contact with. Um, And then, I mean, I don't know if we just kind of spammed him with it or what, and it was kind of still like, we don't really do that anymore. I think I DM'd him or something like that, and he's kind of like, we don't have anybody working on that, or we don't really do that stuff anymore. And I was like, okay, that is kind of like super specific. Like for one person, we're gonna do this thing.
Mhm.
So I was like, fuck it, I'll go for 300,000, bro. We'll just grind. We'll just grind it till we get it. We'll just have to do something so crazy. And I got to 221,000, whatever change. And like Relic warped me on Emerald. I didn't even know who it was. I thought some dude was hacking. And he's like, check your inventory or something like that. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so sick.
That's hype.
It was yeah, it was pretty cool, man. It was pretty cool. And then I felt it was just cool. It was just cool to have something like that in the game. Um, so that is, I guess, the story of the Golden Acre. And then what's crazy though is I was so okay. Let me back up real quick. So I think I kind of was like, we'll go for 300,000, and then I was like, let me kind of also, because I think Mentis actually had already hit 200,000 on the SAR, which okay, it's a bolt, whatever. Again, so I
Mhm.
was like,
Mhm.
okay, I guess I wasn't the
Different
first
kind
one
of
to have
weapon.
200,000, so I was
Right.
like, maybe if I'm the first one to 300,000, I can. And he was like 50,000, 60,000 in front of me. He had like
Uh-huh.
250, 260,000 kills on the weapon. I was like, maybe I like looking at his stats, like maybe I can outpace him because I'm a better player,
Mhm.
KPM wise. And I was like, maybe I can beat him even though he's so far ahead of me. And I was like, then if I got 300,000, maybe I can get a gold anchor. So I was grinding, but I was already committed to this. And once I commit to something, it's very hard for me to stop. So when I got this anchor at 221,000, I was kind of like broken. I was like, I don't know what to do. I can't bitch and complain about a gold anchor. Get a gold anchor, but I don't even want to use it because I'm already at 221,000. They had said they're not going to combine the kills. They're like, well, no, we're not going to do that.
Ah, sad.
I was
Probably hard
like,
to
so
do.
I think I
Yeah.
literally got it, used it for a little bit, and then I quit. I think I went to Tarkov for like 9 months, and then I came back and I grinded. I was like, I'll just get 100,000 on this. So I grinded like 56,000, and then somebody convinced me to use the Gauss saw, and now we're just gonna go for number one Gauss saw. So
That's badass. So Rel's in the chat. He says he made it because he was bored and because you're an okay dude.
thanks, man. I appreciate that.
There you go.
I
There you
appreciate
go.
that.
Nice little
Yo, Lex,
shout out.
go easy on us, bro. Go easy on us, bro. Relax, dude.
Rel will
Relax.
be easy on us. He loves us.
No, I mean Lex, bro. We gotta watch out for Lex, dude. He said
Oh,
he's gonna review
Lex.
it.
Yeah. Scary Lex. Yeah. Okay. So
Only with the thumbs, bro. I ain't worried about him IRL. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Sorry,
only
sorry.
on Araxis.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay, so 221,000, then 56,000, then 100,000. Or sorry, you were going for 100,000 with the gold anchor, and then you moved on to the saw. Is this like bummed anybody out? Like, I feel like this is like a momentous choice to move on from the anchor. Did it feel like a big deal to you, or
Yeah, man, it was tough, dude. It was tough, but then like
what makes the
everyone's
anchor
like,
so
dude.
great? Maybe I should ask that first. Like, what's so great about the anchor?
Well, a couple things is I had already like I was not at like a good, wasn't like top 50, top 100, whatever you want to say, like players when I got
Of
hit
all infantry
100,000.
players, right?
But I had already grinded that out, so I was like, well, I might as well continue. Then I was at 200, and then now I'm at 221. So I was like, there's no reason. Like it was my brand. Like I have an anchor on my Twitch. Like I'm like
Yeah,
anchor god on my description. A bunch of lame
yeah.
cringy stuff on
That's
my
your
in my
icon.
Twitch.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm stuck with it. I was like, hopefully they don't nerf it, because then like what am I gonna do?
Uh-huh.
And then obviously we're grinding for the gold anchor, and like the first shot multiplier on it is scuffed and it feels very inconsistent.
Mhm.
And me being an idiot, and I told you before, I don't go like in depth and like test out new weapons and do all this stuff. I just find something I like and I just go with it. And I was getting like
Uh,
really good stats.
so you were,
Okay,
like,
it wasn't like,
ordering your usual every time you showed up and just
yeah, I was like,
weren't trying anything new.
I'm performing well with it.
Yeah.
So like, why would I change it? But then finally, like they're like, you should try it, you should try it, you should try it. And maybe somebody downloaded to me or something, and so I think we used it. And I was like, I realized like I could snipe people off turrets consistently
Mhm.
way easier with the saw. I was
Uh-huh.
like, wait, why it's so hard with the anchor? And the hitbox is scuffed on it, okay? It's scuffed. We know that. We know
Uh-huh.
it's scuffed on the turret. But it was
Yes.
way easier with the saw. I'm like, wait, this gun is 200 damage, 100 rounds. I was like, why is it somehow easier to use this? That
Yeah.
doesn't make sense to me. Like there
Yeah.
should be a drawback to it.
Has
The
a
anchor
bigger
has
damage model, huge mag.
yeah,
It should be harder to handle, right?
right. And I'm like, the anchor has shitty reload, right? But so does the Gauss saw. So like that kind of cancels out. It's obviously a little bit longer on the saw.
Mhm.
I was like, okay, it doesn't have advanced laser sight, but it doesn't matter. Like you can still dunk on people
You're
without the
heavy
advanced
assault.
laser
You're
sight. So
ADSing most of the time anyway, right?
right. Well, yes and no. There's still so many. I try to put myself when you. Everyone's like, oh, it's like you're clubbing seals.
Okay.
But I try to put myself in difficult situations, or just try to go for 3v1s or whatever. And I'm always holding shift and W. I'm just aggressive,
Got it. Yeah,
and
okay.
so a lot of hip fire.
So you're up close doing the hip fire, which incentivizes the laser sight, but that's not on the
Right.
saw, huh?
Well, it doesn't have the advanced lasers that the anchor does.
Oh, okay. Yeah, which is
But
better
it
than
still
normal.
feels great. It still feels great. And I was like, okay, like I'm like everything that the anchor is good at, this all can do, if not better.
Mhm.
At least on live. I haven't really tested it in like a tournament, competitive 66, whatever.
Okay.
Um, and so I realized that like I was getting even better stats with the saw. Like I'm able to like climb quicker, like towards whatever goal I want to do. So I was like, this will be easier to get to 100,000 kills with, for
Mhm,
instance.
mhm, mhm.
Um, and like I was able to go on like on longer streaks with it, and like stuff I couldn't do with the anchor before.
Okay.
Um,
That big mag
yeah, so
probably helps.
for sure, and that's something that I ran into when you're always holding Shift W. It's kind of a meme. I don't always do that, but I'm always pushing. I feel like
Mhm.
with 50 rounds and the inconsistencies of the first shot multiplier, like missing some shots and whatnot, I feel like 4 or 5 streak is like decent. Obviously, you can push that beyond that if you're in a good scenario. But like with PlanetSide, I mean, it's not like it's a 6v6, right? unless you're in a competitive planet side. So you could easily string out 10 people in a row that are coming from like a center or something, right? And like the anchor, you'd have to reload, and that reload time is so long that it didn't pan out very well. But the saw, it's like 100 rounds. You can cut through that 10, 11 people consistently, maybe even more. And then usually at that point, like, you're in a good spot. You've taken out enough people to where you have a chance to reload or take a break, or people have caught up to you or something like that. So it just pans out way better.
Hmm.
And
So for
I mean, I
those of
can't
y'all
deny
who
the play.
just
Go
jump
ahead.
in real quick, for those of you who are watching live, we are having a little bit of ISP problems. So thanks for bearing with us and sorry about that. Uh, the VOD on YouTube will look great. I can comfortably assure you. But yeah, sorry about that.
What's going on? Is this grainy?
Oh no, my bit rate is like 500. And it should be like 6K. My
Oh
ISP
my
is
goodness,
just
bro.
dropped me off a cliff for some reason. So it is what it is. But
Can't
yeah,
win them all.
exactly. That disclaimer out of the way, though. Okay, so Anchor is great. Saw is great. Um,
Greater,
so
better.
yeah, does this? And I immediately heard you say, "Oh, so I'll go for 100K in this." Like it's just like that's the obvious conclusion that I hear you making. I feel like there aren't a lot of PlanetSide players who would look at something like this and say, "Oh, I'll get 100,000 kills," or I have this new thing. I'm going to make some self-driven goal out of it that is an insanely hard reach. What do you think it is that drives you to go for those goals?
Just a personality thing. Like, I mean, that's why I like competitive planet side. I know it's a meme. It's cringy. Some people, it's not planet side. Don't. Why are you
Well,
making
let's
it
talk about
competitive?
that. Let's talk about that. What competitive PlanetSide? When you say
Well,
competitive
hold on. Let me
PlanetSide, go ahead.
let me roll back to your first question.
I
That's just a personality trait. I'm just competitive in general, and I
Yep.
used to when I was younger. My dad and my brother were ultra competitive.
Okay.
My brother used to lock me outside the house, like forcing me to fight him with like sticks. He's 4 years older. Obviously, that didn't pan out very well for me. So I wasn't like super competitive early on, and then
Boys.
as I've gotten older, I've gotten more and more competitive, almost like a fault, where I'm like aware of it now. I'm like, ugh, I need to tone it down a little bit.
Mhm.
Um, so like when like I said, when I was working at FedEx, when I was in college, just part time, just to have cash, um, like sorting boxes. I was like, okay, like I'm just gonna be the best person that sorts boxes, and I want to like keep upping my numbers here. Like I don't get more money for it, but I
Mhm.
just like
Mhm.
to. It makes like the job more interesting, right? So like after playing Plant Side for 8 years, and like Indar is Indar, and then when
Mhm.
the pops were really low, it was like 99% of the fights were at TI Alloys because there wasn't enough pop to open up the continent. And there was
Mhm.
like a bug for like a long time where it just never opened up, and we were just grinding out like the same base over and over again. And like it's nice to have a goal, faraway goal. It's like, okay, you're slowly grinding towards something in this meaningless environment of nothing, right? Which is also why we started streaming, because I was like, if I'm reading Twitch chat and I die, I don't really care. I know what I can do effectively, and if my stats go a little bit down, like who cares about stats in 2020? But I was like, I
Sure.
can do something while playing the game that like kind of distracts me from it, if
Mhm.
that makes sense. But like not really. Like it's just like I can do two things at once, which makes the experience of PlanetSide better.
Mhm.
Again, 8 years is a long time to do anything. A lot of people just move on. Like the meme in our TeamSpeak is, "What's the game of the week?"
Mm.
If I find something I enjoy, I just stick with it.
Mhm.
Everyone's like,
Mhm.
"Hey, if you're still playing PlanetSide too," it's like, yeah, yeah, dude. Like I know, but like I can't. That's why I went for 200,000 anchor kills, right? I find
Mhm.
something I like, and I stick with it. So, which again, like in real life, sometimes it sucks because it's hard to like leave a job that I feel loyal to, but they're not loyal to me. If that makes sense. And it's like, why
Yes.
am I here? So it's really hard for me to like leave or quit, and like it doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense. But
You really like to commit to something and
yeah,
really explore the entire thing like all the way through. It sounds like
yeah, I
really
struggle
try to
playing games.
push the limit as far as you can.
Yeah, in a way, I mean, like I enjoy it. Like once I find something I enjoy, like I used to hate playing games with my brother. We found a game like way back in the day in MMO, and like we grinded that hard. That's like the only MMO I really ever played like for a long time.
What was it?
That was a lot of fun. Risk Your Life,
Oh, okay.
small community. Like I think it was like on a private server, like it was dead or something. But we really really enjoyed that. But then like it was kind of like we were just kind of skipping around from game to game. Like I would find a game I like, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, we're not playing that anymore." I'm like, I was like, okay, I guess I'll just quit. I'll just delete my character. Like, I guess
Screw me, I
like,
guess.
so I'm almost not like I'm attached to it because that sounds like a really weird, clingy word, but like I was almost like attached to like what I was doing. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna leave this, I guess. And then like we go to something else. I'm like, oh, this is dope. Like this is a lot of fun. And it's like I start grinding for it,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
it's like it's like that with Madden. Like my friends that play on console,
Yeah,
man, dude,
Madden,
like
huh?
every year it comes out. So it's Madden, then it's NBA 2K, and then it's
Yeah, the way
the
sports
show.
games, they have annual releases where they update
Yeah,
players and stuff like that, right?
but now it's like they can only play a game for like 3 months. And it's like they're like grinding out like Madden, like the cards, whatever. I can't remember the thing. And like, okay, I'll help you out on board. I'll just play some of these things for you. It's like I'm grinding it, and then like, oh, we don't play that anymore. We're on to 2K. I was like, why did I just grind that for you? That was the dumbest thing in my life. Like you guys just are so committed, and then just uproot and like move on to the next thing.
Mhm.
And I was like, I don't know, it's just a weird. It's
Hmm.
very ultra different from like what I like to do with stuff. So, um, sorry, I went down on a tangent there. So
No, that's a good one. It yeah, and it makes sense for a guy who can pound out 100, multiple hundreds of thousands of kills with one weapon in one game, that you would be maybe having a personality type that is really attracted towards. Um, I don't even know what the right way to encapsulate it, but I can imagine that trait plays out in a lot of interesting ways in your life.
yeah, for sure, it's like a loyalty thing in a way. Like
Mhm.